to the Trinity Force Podcast. Yo, it's that Triforce cast beaming straight to your home. Grab a beer so we know Pone ain't drinking alone. Send an email, a quick tweet, just pick up the phone. Leave a message, hit the beep if you're a creep, watch your tone. Discuss the meta game, patch notes, whatever helps your stats most. Obi-Pone Kenobi is your last hope to snatch gold. So grab your headphones and join in the fun. We'll try and force in some jokes and some cringeworthy puns. Yo, we can make it together, people. Trinity Force Podcast. These boys are second to none. Now that's the end of the intro. It's time we begun.
Hey guys, welcome to the Trinity Force Podcast. My name is Adam Potophobia Cogswell. You are listening to episode number 525. I think it's 525, right? Yeah, for some reason it's
close enough.
It says
I think it's 527.
It's 525. Because some
this
reason
one
the
says
overlay says 524, and that's wrong, so...
One of these three numbers is right, or they're all wrong. It really doesn't matter.
I'm
We're
putting
in
my
the
votes on
520s.
527.
Well, I can actually go to trinityforcenetwork.com and see that we're at 527.
Pay up
that
for
one.
us.
So this man...
Everyone cares.
Right. Man, I keep touching the damn microphone with my headset.
What are you, an amateur?
Yeah.
Have you ever podcasted before?
At the very last minute, we had to switch over to appear.in instead of Discord because Discord decided to crap out at 7 o'clock and then come right back up about 5 minutes later. But anyway. So we're here, guys. Thanks so much for listening to Trinity Force Podcast. Vrail and Punch are with me this week. You guys can go check out Buddha Boxers, buddhaboxers.com. That's BUDDHA boxers.com/T-Force. No code, just quality boxers. Get yourself some bamboo boxers. I wear them literally every single day, and if I don't have them, I feel very uncomfortable. They are the most amazing boxers that I have ever put around my body.
I hope you have enough for every single day.
I have 5 pairs.
You seem like the
So
kind
you
of
do a
guy
lot
that
of
makes
laundry.
your payers last all week. Adam.
Well, okay, am I the only person that goes to bed and a pair of underwear wakes up and goes to the gym in that same pair of underwear and then switches out when they're done?
I do that.
This seems reasonable. I do that also.
Yeah.
If I go to the gym in the morning.
Right, so I'm not crazy there. Because, like, I get up and I'm in my clothes and I'm like, I'm just going to go in my dirty, I'm going to use air quotes, dirty clothes.
All right, you're not going to change your underwear to go get it dirty again.
See, I knew it.
All that sweat going on. And you're not going to not change your underwear after the gym.
Exactly.
So, I mean, just wear it out there.
But you might not be able to if you wore Buddha boxers because they wick away the sweat and you might still feel clean when you're done.
Yep.
You like how I wrap that back around?
No moisture at all.
No moisture.
You're done with the gym and you're ready to go to work. Slap some deodorant on.
Make sure you slap it around your other bits as well. And for those out there, if there's any female listeners, I believe Buddha Boxers is going to have a female version of the underwear here in the future. I'm just waiting for that email to come back.
Beautiful.
No, they're not panties. My wife just said panties. No, they're going to be like boy shorts. I don't want to call them panties. I just feel really creepy saying panties, to be honest. Okay, I can't talk to you. Then no one else can. Yeah, we're going to keep moving on. Don't forget that there's the Arab tournament. This signups actually are closed. Never mind, they're closed today. It's too late. So
They closed today.
So
Yep.
if you signed up, awesome.
If you're listening live, you can still sign up.
That's right. If
I signed up today.
Did you?
Just
I'm
in
signed
time.
up also.
I did not sign up. I probably will because I think it's a Saturday, right?
Yep. Sure is. Saturday evening.
Oh,
The 21st, right? Or something.
like that. Next Saturday.
Yes, 21st.
So this Saturday. All right, cool.
If you guys have not been visiting the subreddit as of late, you might have missed out on the return of Battle Arena. Rage is out there doing that every single week. He's also looking for shoutcasters, so if you kind of want to get out there and help people learn to play this game better, all that is 5v5 casted games. You just go on the subreddit and sign up. Subreddit is T-Force Network, and we're trying to use those to help you guys have a chance to play some inter-podcast or inter-community games. And so, yeah, go check that out. Other than that, if you guys want to send us questions, feedback at trinityforcepodcast.com, because that's all we're answering today.
But send good questions, otherwise Pone won't like them.
Only
Then
the
we'll have to
highest
do a
quality.
Sunday show, a Sunday morning show talking about other questions that Pone doesn't like as much.
The same thing Punch said on the intro. To
Very
the show.
unique.
Yes. The Trinity Force Podcast FAQ episode number 1 is out in your feeds already. Number 2 and number 3 are going to be recorded, I'd say, in the next couple of weeks. We'll probably try to get some people together on a Sunday again and do that. We have a lot more to talk about, but we're just taking, if you guys send questions to us and we feel that question could be answered in a generic form, we're going to put it in the fact document and just send you guys over that podcast and the fact. That way we can knock out a lot of those like basic questions. We get a lot of stuff like, how do I trade in lane as such and such? Well, here's a generic guide. Now go listen to that. Hopefully it helps, right? That's the whole point of the fact. But we're going to answer questions that are probably, some of them probably should be in the FAQ episodes, but you know what? They're in the document, and I haven't gone through them all yet. I just forward them off to Dom every time they come in. So, Not Your Game writes in, what are a few general things I should focus on to get out of Bronze 1? I don't have any high elo friends, so I can't have anyone watch me play and give me feedback.
So if you can't have anybody watch you, I'd say the next best thing might be to find a high-level stream of, if not the champion you like to play the most, at least the role you like to play, and just watch and learn from that person. Pay close attention to what they're doing during the laning phase, how they approach trades in different matchups, and then how they transition to the mid game. What do they do? Are they split pushing? Are they sticking with their team? Where are they warding? All that kind of stuff. Take notes on all of that.
Yeah, I mean, the answer kind of changes depending on what role you're playing. But like the general things to get out of Bronze that are real generic that everyone says are farm more, die less, and make smart decisions are kind of the basic three, I would say.
Listen to our FAQ episode that just came out yesterday. That's going to have a whole bunch of tips on how to get out of Bronze, such as farm better. Damn it, I keep doing that. Just
Stop it.
It's going to keep
Stop touching it.
Anyway, sorry for those of you not watching the live stream. I said a Switch, and my headset is my default device, and every time I turn, it hits my podcasting microphone. So I apologize for that. But you know what? Also, our summoner school, I've said this before, is that every week they do a mentor thread. You can go out there and try to find a mentor that'll help you in our summoner school. You can also go on to our Discord, discord.trinityforcenetwork.com and join that, and people in there will also help you. But, outside of having someone watch you play and learn how to play better, I think a good way is to actually go back and grab a game that you thought you should have won and go back and watch that game. And I want you to, during a death or even during a kill that maybe kind of you thought was a little awkward, ask yourself, what could I have done better there? I go back and I watch some of my plays. I'm like, oh, I stutter stepped really awkwardly during that team fight. Why did I do that? And then I try to use that to improve myself going forward in the future. Or, someone comes and jumps off me out of the side. I go, oh, you know what? You're right. I should be looking for that character. And I try to use that to help me get better.
Yeah, try to figure out what happened, like what went wrong in the game, and also for those specific pain points in the game where you might have died, like Pome was talking about. Look at the events leading up to it as well. Like if you get ganked in one of your lanes, check. All right, did I have that gank avenue warded? Right, he came from river. Did I have the river warded, or did my ward just die? Should I pay closer attention to that? Did somebody ping missing and I just didn't see the missing? Was I overextended? To try to identify what led to the problem, or what led to the issue that happened in game.
Yep. We've gotten some feedback previously that said, I've tried to self-assess, but I don't know what I'm looking for, and these are the times that you really should just be looking for the places that you died and trying to figure out how you could have prevented that death. Even if preventing that death was 30 seconds before when you shouldn't have walked the direction you walked, or maybe you should have paid attention to where the jungler was at 2 minutes before, for example. You go on the map and you look and you see the jungler has now ganked top lane, and you can assume the jungler will be bot side within the next 2 to 3 minutes, or at least while making that way down there. And perhaps something that you did caused the jungler to walk down the bottom lane. Like you decided to push all your wave up after you saw the jungler topside. Well, suddenly you are putting a beacon on your head, and now you can say to yourself, maybe next time I won't try to push as hard, right? And use that,
or at least ward if I'm going to.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe get a deeper ward out there by blue. Maybe get one at dragon, or maybe we should have taken dragon. These are what I'm talking about. Like you just look at an area, and all you have to say is, what could I have done to prevent this, or what could I have done in this team fight to make it go more smoothly? And you should be able to answer those questions yourself. And if you can't, I think you just need to step back and go back even further to basics and really just learn the core 6 pieces of this game that are basics, right? And that's what we're talking about, and again in that FAQ episode: trading, wave manipulation, last hitting, pushing, etc. So good luck.
Right.
Good luck. Not your game. JB Red Phoenix writes in, ask an enchanter support, when do you take the... Oh, excuse me. As an enchanter support, when do you take the kill? I find myself getting flamed when I cannot secure a kill. I love the selfless builds and I can prop up a team, yet not having the AP to kill kind of sucks. So yeah, when do you take the kill?
I never go... If I'm playing support, I never go into the idea if I'm going to try and give the kill over. I mean, I'm always just trying to do as most damage as possible, and then whoever gets the kill gets the kill. Because the most important thing is that they don't survive, in my own opinion. So if your team is flaming you for kill stealing, it really is kill securing. It doesn't really matter. I mean, there's some like super obvious situations where it might be a little different, but in general, just try and do the most damage. Whoever gets the kill gets the kill. And if your team's smart,
don't go out of your way. Like, don't go out of your way to actually secure the last hit, right? To actually try and get the last hit, but don't let up on your damage either. Because the worst case scenario is they escape because you let up a little bit and you didn't want to take the kill. I agree. Just getting the kill, securing the kill is the most important part.
Always.
So never let up.
Always secure the kill. Unless you're playing like 5s and you know you can trust your AD carry to get that kill. Secure it. But,
yeah.
And even then, it's hard. But like, you should have more faith in your AD carry at that point. Like, if you're playing with somebody that knows what they're doing. But even at the same time, like, I would just say always secure the kill. I just see too many people try to troll around or joke around, and then they lose that momentum they could have had.
Right, you see multiple ganks in bot lane where like the jungler and the support will let up because I think they have the kill in the bag and they're giving it over to the ADC, and then the enemy still has flash up and they flash away. Like,
right.
Oh crap!
That's why if I'm playing,
terrible
with people,
feeling.
I'll usually scream, "I've got it! I've got it! I've got it! Don't take it!" And hopefully they do back off at that point. But other than that, I would just assume that my Vel'Koz is going to steal the kill, right? I just have
as Vel'Koz should. Vel'Koz can carry. Let's go.
But that's the true carry in that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
You just use the support.
All right. Tom's writes in, how should I approach vision placement control as a split pusher? You know, we answered this previously. Tom's, I know we answered this because we answered this last week and we accidentally answered it. So go listen to last week's episode.
Oh. I must have not been there for that one.
No, it was Vrail and Beaver. No, it was Beaver and Moon. Sorry. No,
I think I was there because this question looks familiar to me also.
Yeah, we didn't answer this question directly, but we just talked about split pushing that episode.
So one thing I want to add is if you're split pushing, if you're behind, you shouldn't be split pushing. You can be splitting, but if you're split pushing, that means you're actually pushing the wave past the halfway point. So if you're behind, you should just be meeting the wave at the halfway point at the furthest and just catching the waves there. So I think there's a difference between splitting when you're behind, where that's just meeting the wave. And if you're split pushing, you're actually pushing the wave like towards the tower and going up there with it. That's my 2 cents that we didn't add last time.
Right. Yeah, my 2 cents is I don't have a 2 cents for splitting. I think we went over it the entire time last time. Split pushing, just you're warding to cover your bases. I think, you know what, we talked about it because we talked about it from what kind of trinket should you have perspective.
Oh yeah, blue wards.
Right. And that was episode 520. I think that was episode 525. So to answer this question, please go back and listen to episode 525.
And I don't know if you guys, I don't know what you guys said, but I would add, when you're ahead, you are warding your rotation paths because you want to see, if the enemy is coming to you through the jungle and you can pick them off as a result, or you want to make sure that your path is clear to your team if you need to rotate to them. Like if you're split pushing bottom lane and they send somebody that can wave clear and you can't push into them anymore, that's when you're going to rotate to your team. And the last thing you want to do is get picked off while you're rotating, because then you just lost the advantage. You've lost the man advantage on the map.
That's a really good point. That's not something we mentioned either. We were just discussing if you should have red or blue or yellow wards and how you should use them. And I believe Todd said he prefers red ward during that, but he's kind of like a fringe case because he likes to sit in bushes.
Oh yeah, of course. Garen is always in the bush. Unless the ward is in the bush. If there's a ward in the bush and the ward can see that there's no Garen, therefore Garen's not in the bush. So when he takes red trinket and clears the ward, now Garen's in the bush. He's in every bush. He's in every bush where there is no vision.
Is he shorted dinger?
The logic on this guy.
Garen
is he
could
what?
be in a bush, or he could not be in the bush, but we'll never know.
No, he's always in the bush. He's always in the bush until you ward it.
Right. All right. Well, B-Cat writes in, what do you do against the Illaoi? Every time I lane against her, I will crush her in the first couple levels, but inevitably I will get pushed into my tower and she will get a tentacle farm surrounding me. It's like, I'm not going there. I can't leave the tower to clear her tentacles without getting murdered. I don't even get the luxury of the wave bouncing back since she face tanks the wave and clears it immediately.
Yeah, Illaoi's fun.
She's a lane bully. I don't know. I don't play top, and when I do play top, and I'm against Illaoi, I have the same issues you're talking about. So maybe
I've been
these guys can provide some answers to
crushed by so many Illaois. So many Illaois. Biggest thing is obvious, and I'm sure B-Cat already knows this, but put on your dancing shoes. You have to be able to dodge her skill shots. If you don't, you're just going to get pushed out of lane every time, and you have no chance. And that's regardless of what champion you pick. You can pick a ranged champion. You still got to dodge, because if she throws out her E and she hooks you, you're going to eat some shit. Speaking of E, if you do get hooked by E, and she's got your spirit, get out of range of it. Unless you're also a very high damage lane bully like Darius, you can fight her off of it. If you can't do that, get out of range of it immediately, because the longer you're within the range of it, you're just eating damage. You are eating a portion of the damage that she deals to that.
I feel like what's so tricky about facing her is that you either want to stand behind minions to not get hit by the E, but if you're behind the minions, she's just going to Q because that's where the minions are, and she's going to wave clear. So it's really tricky to dodge both of them. So it's not a fun lane for me, at least a few times I've played it. So
some good champions against Illaoi would be ranged, like Quinn, Kayle, Urgot, Gnar. Those would all be good because they have an easier time dodging her, although they still have to dodge. Champions like Kayle have some wave clear too, so they can push back against her wave clear, so they're just not under the turret the whole time. And
honestly,
also it's also nice to have somebody that's got a dash, some mobility. Like Camille's not that bad into Illaoi, but you have to get the fuck out when she ultimates. You have to bait out that ultimate. You can't fight her when she has it up post 6, right? So somehow you have to get it in there, start a fight, and then book it as soon as she hits that ultimate. Keep this in mind if the jungler ganks for you, your jungler ganks for you at level 6, because a 2v1 for Illaoi at level 6 isn't really a disadvantage for her.
Yeah, Illaoi's like Darius and Heimerdinger, where you just don't want to gank them if they're even, sort of thing, unless you have like a really good opportunity, because they just turn fights so quickly.
I mean, you can get in there and help with the gank, but as soon as she ultimates, get out of there.
It all does boil down to just dodging the E with her, doesn't it? Hey, as long as you're not being hit with E, that's your trade window, because she doesn't really have any other way to do damage to you other than auto attacks, and also making sure that you're popping tentacles when you can.
I mean, her tentacle slam thing does a lot of damage, so that is annoying to play against also. But
another reason why range is so good, because they have an easier time killing those tentacles.
Now, I know there's a weird strategy to play against her. If she has tentacles that have spawned behind her, you're not supposed to kill them because she can only have so many tentacles spawned at any point in time. But she has to move so far away from the tentacles before new ones start spawning in front of her. So, like, if she walks up to the tower, her tower, and a tentacle spawns and moves into the lane, leaving that tentacle up, if you push them in, is a better idea than trying to kill it, for example. Unless you're, like, tower diving, right? But yeah, killing tentacles is a big one. But any good Illaoi player is going to fight you around that. If you just absolutely can't, the only thing you can do is dodge E's, but you can't push her back in. It's just playing as safe as you possibly can. Back way off the tower if you have to, if she clears the wave and you don't have a wave pushing into it. Just don't get hit by that E.
If you don't have very good wave clear, at the very least, try to get a Tiamat. That should help you a little bit with killing creeps faster, or at least securing last hits from a little bit of extra range, because that Tiamat active gives you a little bit of range, so you can last hit something like a cannon if she's contesting that.
All right, awesome. Good luck, B-Cat.
There's one more thing.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, another PSA I have for Illaoi, and B-Cat probably knows this, but some people don't. For Illaoi's E now, you don't need to kill tentacles anymore for that to go away. That's strictly a timer thing now. So if you've got the vessel spawned, you don't need to kill 2 tentacles. You can just dodge them and then be on your merry way. Because eventually, I think it only spawns like 2 tentacles max now before it expires.
I think it is too.
Uh-oh. There's a sad baby.
Yeah. Yeah, uh-oh. This is... I'm sorry, baby. Don't. No.
What did you do? What did you do to the baby?
Well, she's sitting back there, and we got a gate behind us, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everybody that has to hear a crying baby right now. I'm just waiting it out. All right. She's being picked up by Bob. She was making tons of noise, and I'm like, oh. And
baby, please.
all right, listen. I don't want the baby in everyone else's ear. I know that it's only a few more minutes, so I'm going to try to read this question and probably just cut all microphone from there. But hopefully all dads out there understand. Nathan writes that I'm a big fan of LS. One champ he always recommends is Annie. I haven't played too many games on Annie, but LS is adamant that Annie alone can take you to Diamond. Yes. Do you guys agree with this? Whenever I play Annie, I always feel outranged or just outclassed. I feel like other mid laners offer a bit more. You want to know the reason that Annie can take you to Diamond?
Because any champion can take you to Diamond.
Because Annie, it's literally impossible to screw up last hitting with Annie. Because you're maxing Q, and Q refunds a fuckload of mana every time you land it. And also, she has decent wave clear, so she can roam. And she can engage any team fight. She can counter-engage any team fight. She has phenomenal roam pre-6 and even better roam post-6. She's just an all-around great champion, and it's going to teach you how to play around enemies. And it's going to, I mean, really, you don't have to trade in lane. You don't have to kill the person in lane. All you have to do is push it out and roam around the map. Like, Annie just does everything that you need her to do, and she does it pretty well.
Yeah, I think his main reasoning is that she's so simple that it lets you focus on other things. So rather than trying to master any one particular set of champions, you just have this super simple champion that's really easy to play, and then it lets you focus on like last hitting, roaming, and more macro things that are gonna help you climb faster without having to worry about the nuances of different champions. I think that's his main reason behind it. But I mean, I don't think she's necessarily the only champion who is ever going to get you to be able to climb.
No, absolutely not.
There's also something to be said for playing champions that have big playmaking ability like Annie does, like that AoE instacast stun. That's one of the reasons why I like playing Camille so much, because with hookshot, you can make so many different plays with that long range stun that just like lets you pick off whoever you hit, so long as that enemy's just squishy. So, I mean, having the ability to do that, it lets you turn around a game. It lets you turn around a losing game if you get a good stun off like that. Which gives you a chance in any solo queue game.
A good flash R just ends everything. Because, and sometimes, I mean, Annie at level 16 with Ultimate Hat has a 30-second cooldown on her ultimate. By the time Tibbers dies, ultimate is back up. Yeah,
she's more gated by her flash than by the ult cooldown.
Right. You don't even need that either.
What's the Hex Tech dash flames fireballs?
Protobelt?
The belt, yes, the belt. Thank you. Is that mandatory on her?
No.
I see a lot of Annies get that.
You don't need it. It's really good. Like, it's phenomenal.
But I mean, if you're gonna play around, if she's gated by a flash, I feel like wouldn't you just have that to use instead of the flash? Sometimes.
I feel like you should go Predator on her, honestly. I think we've talked about this before. Too, yeah. Because you just run at them, and then Predator's on such a long... You have so much time to do anything with it that you can flash away and you can just follow them because you're going so fast. So, I mean, I don't know. I think Predator's a better way than Protobelt. I think you just want to go pure burst if you're going to be playing her.
Yeah, you do. And you can do Predator. There's also... I guess it depends on the lane matchup, right? Like, you can go Comet or Electrocute. A lot of people go Electrocute on her for the added burst, and then pick up Celerity, and then hope that extra move speed is enough. Plus, you get Ingenious Hunter for the active item cooldown, so if you need to be able to pop your Zonias more often later in game, because you do end up being focused. Yeah, baby. You do end up getting focused. It's true. So you can either choose between Electrocute or Predator. And I guess it depends how badly you think you need that extra damage.
How are her matchups in mid right now? Does she get outranged on a lot of them?
Yes,
she does. Like that was a concern that Nathan has.
I don't think I've played against any all season. So honestly, I can't speak from personal experience. But earlier in the season, when a lot of the poke mages were strong, they would just poke her out because their range is so much longer. So I can see that being a really big problem. But poke mages have kind of fallen off with some of the rune changes, so she might have more favorable matchups. And nowadays, she's not terrible into assassins because she can just full combo them when they go on her. So I imagine her matchups are a little more favorable now than earlier in the season.
Yeah, she's fine, right? Even all around, she's got a pretty favorable matchups. I know that Rise does pretty well into her though.
But then you're recommending people play Rise.
Yeah, I'm not telling you who to play against Annie, but I guess it just depends. I wouldn't play Annie into like LeBlanc, for example, because I feel like LeBlanc could just end up popping you out. You couldn't push fast enough, but yeah, anytime if you play her anywhere below Plat 5, you can just pretty much cruise control your way to victory. I'm sorry, I'm very distracted by this.
She does have the third highest win rate, but only a 1% pick rate.
Yeah, not enough people.
Maybe I should play her at top. I got crushed by any top once. That was horrible.
Frozen Heart.
Horrifying experience.
Frozen
I don't think so. I think she was just burst.
Yeah, there was a while there. It was like tank Annie top.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, I never actually played against it, but I remember people talking about it. Like it was a thing.
Too.
We did.
Mm-hmm. I remember that episode. All right, Thomas writes in, I'm curious about the interaction between Conqueror and Movies Past. Actually, Thomas, I'm going to go past this because I don't think I can answer this unless you guys can.
But the interaction
is there an AP assassin, a Mumu player on this podcast?
I don't know about the interaction, but I am saying you should always build him AP.
Well, Thomas, we'll get back to you. An unnamed listener writes, recently during a pro game, a shoutcaster chastised a player for using all dematerializer charges early and not saving any for super minions late game. My approach has been to use the charges early to open an item slot. What am I missing in this strategy? You're missing the fact that pro players need to be able to kill super minions and I'll call them enraged cannon minions, or Frank the Tanks later with that what the fuck is this name of the
Banner of Command?
Thank you, Banner of Command. The reason they get chastised is because there was a short time frame there, a couple of week or so, where Banner of Command was so powerful that it was 5-shotting turrets, and so they needed a dematerializer proc to be able to kill those banner minions. Otherwise, you weren't going to kill it, and it was just going to be out of range from everything and knock down your turrets really fast. And so that's why the casters were yelling at people. Now, if you're playing the game, I would say use all. Well, you don't have to use all of them. It depends what you are, but you can get, you can secure the first 6 cannon minions with that if you want to, and that's a lot of extra gold in the early game. So using them early isn't that big of a deal because the likelihood of your solo queue game going to the point where you need to kill that cannon minion and it's knocking down your turret is slim to none.
I never keep them. I always try and use them all before my first back when I'm taking the mid lane. That's my goal anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Just helps with your wave clear too much.
The big difference is pro play versus solo queue play, right? Like you pro play, they need to have any little advantage they get. Even 1% means a whole lot. With solo queue play, that 1% is now turned into 50% because anybody can fuck up at any time. And how many times do you see people actually stand outside the turret and use the cannon minion to not, and guard the cannon minion? That doesn't ever happen in solo queue.
Yeah, it's because it's so much more organized in pro play. That's why they held onto it. You don't need to do it in solo queue.
If you're defending against an organized Baron push at 21 minutes,
although
I think
maybe
you got bigger concerns. You got bigger concerns than saving.
Now that clashes out, maybe you have to reconsider when you're playing.
Maybe
you need to hold on to it for that, but
all right.
Or maybe you're about to get crushed anyway.
Probably. Cosign writes in, what sorts of non-default key bindings do you guys use, and where do you bind them?
I have 2 on my mouse. I have my vision ping on my mouse, and I have laugh on my mouse.
Yes, the laugh.
And I also have my mastery key bound to my R, F, and D. So if I R, my mastery shows, and if I flash or ignite someone, it shows also.
Excellent. I love it.
But yeah, you have to go into the settings and actually change that outside of game. But other than that, stock standard.
Yeah, I don't remember what I've changed because it's been so long since I've actually made any modifications. I think I've got that that click, that champions only click. I think I have that bound to T. That's if you want to like walk right next to a minion or right next to a jungle camp to get over a wall, or if you really want to hit an enemy champion with an ability, but they're in in the middle of a minion wave. It's handy for all of that.
If you're
I think that one helps most when you're tower diving, so you don't auto the tower.
Right.
Yep, that too.
I need to bound that to my mouse.
That'd probably be better than T. I've got unused mouse buttons that I could use, but I'm a creature of habit at this point. So many years put into League.
I should replace my laugh with that, but I'm too committed to having laugh available for the few times I play Nunu and I can just spam it.
The only key binds that I changed was that I made normal cast on my shift. So if I do shift Q, W, E, or R, I get the normal cast. And then everything else is smart cast. Q, W, E, R is smart cast. And I do that so I can see ranges of a lot of stuff really quickly. And I did that before smart cast indicators was ever in the game. So like Punch said, I'm a creature of habit, and I haven't ever changed it. Tried to learn the other way because I just know how to play with that. But
yeah, I have smart cast with indicator. I think it's what it's called.
Right. Back in the day, we didn't have that option. Back in the day, we had to make our own hotkeys through an INI file. And if the computer restarted, we lost an INI file. Well, Lord help us.
Tragic.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
I would say do whatever it is. Move hotkeys so that they are more accessible for you. I know that my number 4, my number 1 is always SmartCast. So if I need something in the SmartCast area, I put that in number 1, and I always put my trinket number 4 because it's not SmartCast, and I like to ward with indicators on that one. So Blade of the Ruin King, for example, always goes in my number 1 slot because I don't need to see the range on that item.
I never put actives in 1. My actives are always 1, 2, 3, 4, always going over. I just can't make it. Can't make it work. I can't get my pinky finger to ever use the abilities I need.
Well, maybe you should get better at this game.
I need to.
I saw that. I was gonna ask you. I saw you dropped a whole tier.
The whole tier? What do you mean?
Well, not a tier, I should say. Just a rank. You were knocking on Diamond's door, and then you dropped down to Plat 2. I'm like, what's going on, Vrail?
I'm Diamond 5 right now.
Wait, was I looking at Heartless Beaver then?
I don't know. I'm Diamond 5 right now. So
maybe I was.
When'd you hit Diamond?
Was
this a recent thing, or have you been Diamond for a while now?
Me? I've been Diamond for probably a month. I was almost Diamond 4, and now I'm like Diamond 5. Not a lot of LP, but we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, welcome
I totally missed
5.
that. Yeah. So then you beat Moon to Diamond.
Yeah, but I think I played a lot more games than it took him. But timeline-wise, I did. I think game-wise, he did.
Oh, you're not rubbing it in his face enough, just so you know.
No, we don't.
I'll think about it.
All right, not your game, right? Sen. I main jungle and support. What are good champs in my elo to carry myself? This is one of those I'm not going to answer right now because this is going to get answered in the next FAQ episode. And I'm sorry if anyone takes offense to that, but this is the perfect candidate for the next FAQ episode. So thanks for that.
It's not offensive. Just we get this question a lot, or questions like this a lot.
I get
so we like to answer them all.
I get emails. It's how people get really mad at me. I had one guy get mad at me and say, "You're not even answering the questions. You just keep telling them to go listen to other shows." And I'm like, "That's because the other shows have the answers. Like, just go listen to it. It's already there. Why would I rehash it? Here's the timestamp, 25:36. Just go listen to it. I'm giving it to you." Anyway, the Zillion Machine writes in, something I struggle with is being where I am needed around the map. As a sport, it often feels like you need to be everywhere when your team is not grouped, and after laning phase, I feel my priorities aren't straight, and I'm unsure where to be and where I should be focusing my wards and when everyone is spread out. Jesus Christ, that was a sentence. Often I just followed my ADC around, dropping wards when necessary to avoid one of those pesky clown fiestas. Am I doing the right thing, or should I be focusing elsewhere? So this long-winded thing, he wants to know, should I follow my ADC like a lost puppy, or where should I be in the map, and what should I be looking for when it comes to mid-game?
Oh, it kind of depends what your ADC is doing. Once one of the bot towers falls, Dom at that point takes his leave of bot lane because the ADC is usually farming for a little bit after that. So Dom will start roaming and warding and helping out the other lanes that might still need it. If your ADC is not doing the solo farm thing and he's actually trying to group and take objectives with your team, I'd say make sure that guy's safe. Because if he takes a wrong turn, into a bush and there's a Kha'Zix there,
or a Garen,
you got a dead ADC, or a Garen. The Garen's probably more likely.
I think you should generally be in the general vicinity. That was a lot of generals at short map time. You should normally be in the general vicinity of your ADC, and then towards whatever big objectives up next, whether that be Dragon or Rift Herald, just so you can be placing wards around to make sure the other team's not taking it. But, I mean, as a support, you just kind of need to be putting wards where your team needs them, which would change from game to game based on how it's playing out.
You really are that... what is the name of it? I don't even know the name of the thing. You know, the person who stands in the front of the boat with the lantern guiding the way, right? That's really what your job is as the support. We are standing in front of the team with a lantern, showing them which way they need to go by dropping wards. So if the dragon is, I'm going to take a step back. You have taken the first tower. Now you and your ADC need to move up to the top lane and make your top go bot. Now you guys take that second tower. Suddenly Rift Herald is available, so you're warding deep into the red side, into the jungle, the red side of the jungle, to prep yourself for the Rift Herald. Oh, maybe Dragon is coming up. I'm pinging that a minute early. I'm pinging that 30 seconds out. You are the timekeeper. You are the leader. You are the person that's really helping your team to have a decision where to go. And if you're not necessarily leading and you're following because like the jungle or somebody else took over, you are prepping the area for them to be able to fight. Don't go out and ward alone. That's like the #1 mistake you can ever make is go out somewhere and be like, we really need vision on Baron. Just don't do it, right? Because if you die, you have such a large impact. You have just as much impact dying as anybody else in the team.
Even if you don't die, like I played against a couple of Jannas where the Janna would be really aggressive for their warding and go out and ward alone, and then you jump on them and Janna would waste her ultimate. And then guess what? Team fight breaks out not long later, and Janna's got no ultimate to protect her backline anymore. Like the Janna, I distinctly remember a game where Janna lost her game, or lost her team that game, because she kept blowing her ult to save herself by going out alone and warding. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to, ultimate your AD carry as Camille, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, congrats. Thanks for blowing your ult early. So, be the guy.
Janna's deserve to lose, let's be honest. They picked Janna.
They really do.
Rude.
Yeah, if you're warding deep, make sure somebody's within the vicinity.
Fair enough.
Rude. All right. JB Red Phoenix writes in, as a support, how do you decide when to save a champion and when to cut your losses and bail?
Oh, that is real situational.
Well, if you think you can save them, I mean, if you don't know if you can save them, try and see what happens, and then, just make a mental note that, well, that didn't work. Won't do that again next time. If you can save them, go for it. If, you're getting ganked bot lane and the ADC's got 3 people wailing on them, just bail.
If somebody's being jumped by 2 or 3 people and it's outnumbered, and I could use a rotation to save that person, but otherwise I make it out by the skin of my teeth, I'm going to leave that person behind and make it out because it's better for me to be alive. I mean, I'd rather my ADC be alive if Baron's coming up, right? But like, it's so situational to make the decision. You're just looking for that. Before you get to any point, you should be subconsciously asking yourself the question is, am I needed in the future, or who is the most important person on my team, and why are they most important? And a lot of this, you do this within seconds in your head. I don't think you even realize you're making these decisions, and that's who you're protecting with your life. And if Baron is coming up and I really need my jungler gets caught out, and it looks like I could potentially save him by queuing and dubbing people away, queuing them as Alistar, and he's able to flash out or whatever it may be, then I give my life up for it. That's a good call. But you have to know the limits of your champion. You have to have an understanding of what you're going to be able to do. If your ADC gets jumped on by 3 people bottom lane, it's likely better for you just to walk the fuck out of there. Maybe headbutt somebody away, maybe pulverize one person, but then just mosey your ass out of there because they're dead and there's no reason for you to die too.
Yeah, it's always better to have one person die than 2. So I'd say do it to the best of your ability. That won't result in more than just him dying if you're already pretty sure he's going to die. But it's real situational, as you said.
Get the best of both worlds and pick Thresh. That way you can bail and just throw a lantern behind your shoulder. Be like, all right, click it if you want.
Then it's their fault.
If you don't, that's your problem.
And then we're like everybody else, where I'm Rakan, and I'm like, come back so I can jump to you. And they're just like out of the range. I'm like, no.
But you've got that increased range now.
Yeah, it's not enough.
They should always be in range.
I played an Aram earlier and I was Rakan, and there were so many times that the person was like, they were running away from me because they're running from the battle, and they're like this far away, like just a hair, and I'm like, just press S,
please,
just stop. And I die, but whatever.
Rakan and
I'm
Aram
not
sounds
good.
nasty.
Oh yeah, it does.
You say Rakan and Aram?
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Everybody's always grouped.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Dom always yells at me when I play with him and he's Rakan. Because I never notice when he's hitting his Q and he's trying to heal me.
Right.
And I'm always unconsciously running away from him because I'm trying to reposition for some reason or another.
Yeah.
And he's like, punch, stop it. Stop running away. Every time.
This is good for both of us. Come back.
All right. Tom writes in. Tom asks, which trinkets should each role be taking? Whew, that is a question.
I think we talked about this when we talked about the split pushing one also.
I think we did.
In my opinion, generally, to break out another generally, the support and jungle will have red trinket, ADC and mid will have blue, and top will have the yellow. In my experience, that's what they normally take, but it's situational again.
As a top laner, I like yellow trinket. It lets me ward things.
I'm terrible at remembering to switch, though. I will be a support and have my yellow trinket like 20 minutes in because I just forget.
You guys are awful.
Mm-hmm. I admit it. I admit it freely. I never have blue trinket when I should. Like, man, we should really get a blue trinket on Baron. This is if I'm playing ADC, right? If I get filled to ADC. Like, oh man, we gotta check that Baron out. Who's got blue trinket? Yeah, it should be me, but it's not.
Yep, been there. And then I just casually changed for it, and I'm like, oh, it's been on cooldown for a little bit. I don't know.
That too. Why did I use blue trinket again? Oh, for some stupid bush that I didn't need to check.
Right, like we're running. I already know the people are in the bush, but I'm gonna check it anyway to make sure. Oh, yep, they're in that bush. I thought they were in.
Yeah, we found them. We found them. Now they're taking Baron and we can't see.
It's the whole Garen thing. He could be in the bush.
Yes.
You know those times where you're banging down the base, right? Like you've already knocked down a couple turrets, maybe some inhibitors are pushing, and then, or not even that, maybe it's just one inhibitor. So, you know, the top laner is dealing with that super minion, and you guys are kind of like walking down there, and you realize that, well, the blue isn't up, so red is up. So that means everyone's probably down in the bottom lane, so you're going to go ahead and hit the pixel brush or whatever it may be down there with your trinket. Those are the times that I use my blue trinket. The really stupid times where I go, I know they're sitting down here because it's the only spot where they would be if they're not in their base.
See, when I have blue trinket early game, I'm using it like at level 9 to when like Baron spawns. I'm just putting it where I think the jungler is going to walk, and then I'll see him, and then it'll probably be gone. And then, but once Baron's up, I don't put it down ever. I just hold on to it in case they start Baron, and then I'll have a whiff scouting it.
Yeah, the only time you're using your blue trinket for anybody's used blue trinket. Oh, excuse me.
1-2 punch on the microphone.
I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out there. Where's that at? What doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm not having a good podcast tonight. Anyway, the only time that I'm using the blue trinket is if I need to check if an objective is available, or I need to hit a bush because someone's running into it as we are fighting them. Other than that, my blue trinket stays in my inventory and stays not used unless I'm drunk and playing Yasuo and I'm 0-10. Don't go look at my match history. Please don't look at my match history.
Wait a second.
Hold on.
I'm curious.
I'm curious also.
I may have been drinking a lot.
You? No.
Doesn't sound like you.
Phonophobia doesn't do that. Phonophobia doesn't bounce that way.
Nope, never.
Oh, this is choice. 4.9 CS per minute. That's solid.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wait, what? What is this?
Yeah, I told you. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Please get out of my profile, guys. No.
Well, at least those are normal. I mean, you weren't drunk enough to keep up and flex.
17% kill participation. What a legend.
Yeah, man. 0-10 against this Malphite. You see how much armor this motherfucker had?
Yeah, but your ult shreds his armor.
Not enough.
And you had Conqueror. Oh, this is truly tragic.
Yeah, bad. Not bad. B-Cat writes in, any tips for sticking to a champion or role? I know for a fact that my best odds of climbing would be just playing Gangplank. However, I can't seem to play him or anyone else for more than 10 games without changing. Last season, I played 89 different champions and ranked. Holy shit. How do I not do that? Take Adderall.
Goodness gracious. Well, I mean, if you can't stick to one champion, and that's like causing you to not play the game. I mean, you want to play the game to have fun. Like, you want to enjoy yourself. So, like, don't feel like you need to limit yourself. But I mean, I feel like there's a middle ground between one champion and 89 champions, right? I mean, somewhere along the line, you can find a group of champions, maybe, I don't know, like 4 or 5 that you can cycle through, and
the middle ground is 44 champions. So.
Practice. Oh, okay. Well, I think we get lower than 44. Let's try for lower than 44. Maybe under 10. If
you're trying to seriously climb, then you should for sure cut it down, because it's impossible to maintain a level of proficiency with that many champions that's going to facilitate you climbing quickly at all, unless you're just really naturally gifted at a bunch of different champions. But I think, 10 or below, depending on what you're good at, is something you should strive for if you're trying to seriously climb.
Go play an Aram, right? Go play a normal. Go play
Twisted
Tree Line. Like, if you've played 3 or 10, if you played 10 games in a row of Gangplank and you're bored of Gangplank, go play an Aram. Go play a normal. Play a day of that. I don't know how serious you are about climbing or anybody else out there, but if you guys have this problem, which I know a lot of people have, where they say they can't stick to one champion or they can't stick to 3 or 4 champions, to seriously climb, you really do have to stick to a very small pool of champions, under 5. And I always advocate for 2. 1 your main, unless it gets banned, and then you have a backup always. And then, like, if you get autofilled somewhere, maybe a 3rd, like a Malphite, right?
Yeah.
Or
I think 3 is fine.
Right. 3 is fine, but you have to stick to at least 3 to be able to successfully climb in ranked, because you are significantly hampering yourself, because if the players you are playing against are doing only 3, they're going to have a better understanding of how to play into the champion that you picked up than you are that champion you're playing into them, because you will not have nearly as much experience on that champion as they will.
Also, how much do you enjoy playing Gangplank? I mean, is this a matter of you can't stick to playing him just because you get bored of him eventually? I mean, I had a similar problem. I wasn't playing 89 different champions, but I would play a bunch of different champions, and I certainly couldn't stick to one for a long time. But at this point in time, everyone is sick and tired of me talking about Camille, because I finally found a champion in Camille that I do enjoy playing over and over again. So it could just be, that you haven't found that one champion yet. Keep looking, see if you can find somebody that you can perform just as well or better than Gangplank, and then see if you can stick to that person. And if not, if you just get bored because, playing the same thing over and over again, I really like Adam's idea. Join a normal for a game, pick something crazy, or join an Aram, switch it up, get out of flex for a little bit, or solo queue, whatever ranked you're doing.
All right. Last question here for the day, because we've answered a fuckload of them. Little Giant writes in, at what point is it better for the most fed member of a team to stop taking all the resources and spread the wealth around a little bit?
Never.
Yeah.
Never. Your teammates aren't worth it.
You got to be greedy.
Yeah. I'm not giving kills to somebody else.
I think this is similar to the support securing the kill question. It feels like that. I mean, in this case, you can give up some farm. Like if there's a huge creep wave and your ADC's running towards it and they're really far behind, maybe you can give that up and start pushing another lane. But I mean, when it comes to kills, like same thing as we said before, don't try and give those away. If you're just go balls to the walls all the time. Don't let up on your damage.
In the rare occasions when I'm fed, if someone like pings that they're like 100 gold off of an item, and I'm about to go, we're both running towards one wave, I'll be like, okay, you can have that. You can have that wave. But I'm never like actively trying to give up resources to enemy teams, so hopefully that like we'll all be evenly fed instead of having one super fed individual. I always think take it all for yourself and trust yourself to carry.
Right. Yeah. If you're doing work and you're winning the game for your team, then you don't really need to give up any resources.
Yeah, last night I was playing a ranked game against a Rengar who got 3 kills before 4 minutes and just so low carried the game super hard. The rest of his team was doing terrible, but he ended, let me see what he ended with. He ended with 20 kills and just like 1v9 the whole game. It was tragic. I got killed by him in 0.3 seconds. I was playing Vel'Koz. It was not great. But I'd say he took everything for himself. He just trusted himself to carry, and he was on a champion that he could do that. So,
well, when you're that
I'd
far
say
ahead,
trust
you got
yourself.
3 kills early. You're walking. What do you walk into jungle with? Your jungle item, right? Like to start.
Yeah, he got like a Tiamat, and then just like shit on our Evelyn, who of course was typing in all chat the whole time. Oh, you're so bad, but I mean, she's the one who gave him 2 of the 3 kills. So
Nice.
Whatever. That was a tragic game for sure.
Tragic. All right. I'm going to call it there. I know it's a little early, but I need a beer. And
I don't have any beer.
I'm sorry.
I have a nice Fresca here. It's
Ooh,
black
refreshing.
cherry citrus.
Sounds good.
It's delicious.
I had a beer. It's really sad.
I have vodka
Vodka's boring, just like you.
with ice.
Just a nice
Vodka
handle of
and
vodka.
ice.
Oh, come on, Paul.
What do you think I was drinking the whole time?
You're better
This wasn't
than
water.
You're better.
Of course not.
I just put the vodka in the water bottle just so, people don't think I'm crazy.
I just put the vodka
in fact,
in
I
my
am.
mouth, because why would people want to see me walking around the bottle when I just have it in my stomach?
Well, I don't know. You got me there.
All right, guys, thanks for listening to the Trinity Force podcast. Don't forget to check out our sponsors at BuddhaBoxers.com/TForce. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/TForce Network. Meta report should be coming out within this week, as I believe it's already been recorded. Is that correct?
It has been. It was a good one. It's about an hour long, hour and a half long. It was real solid.
Jeez.
Good conversations in there.
And that's what we're going to call it. Patch, what is it, 8.8? Is that what it is?
8.8's the next one, yeah.
Right.
The death of Galileo, we'll call it.
Right. Patch 8.8 tomorrow. Guys, we'll see you all on Wednesday then. Peace.
See you guys.
Later.